When you hear the word architecture, you probably think of buildings, right? Something solid, structured, built to last. But what if we took that exact same idea, that blueprint, and applied it to our own minds? What if we could actually construct our knowledge so that it becomes a powerful foundation for everything we do?
We've all been there. You read a fascinating article or finish a course and you're feeling totally inspired. But fast forward a week, and how much of it is actually still there? The real trick isn't just getting the information, it's making it stick around for good. And that's the big question we're digging into today.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the problem itself. Then we'll define what this assimilation learning thing is all about. After that, we'll get into the practical tools you can actually use, see how it turns into a powerful habit, and finally, uncover the amazing outcome it leads to. All right, first things first, let's really nail down the problem we're trying to solve here. It's all about that gap. The one between what we already know and all the new stuff we're trying to learn. Think about it like this. Your brain is a giant, well-organized library. Just throwing a bunch of new books on the floor doesn't really help anyone. The real work, the magic, is in finding the right shelf for each new book, connecting it to what's already there. That's the part that really matters. Okay, so if the problem is a lack of connection, then the solution has got to be a way to create those connections. So let's get a really clear definition of what we're talking about with assimilation learning. And there it is. The key phrase here, the one I really want you to focus on, is actively blending. This is not a passive thing where information just kind of soaks in. Nope, this is something you do. It's a deliberate action. You are the architect, taking new ideas and weaving them into the very structure of your mind to make the whole thing stronger. This really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? So often, we treat knowledge like two completely separate things. We've got what we already know over here, and the new stuff way over there. Well, assimilation is the bridge you build between them. It's about taking two separate piles of material and turning them into one single, solid structure. All right, we get the what, now it's time for the how. How do you actually build that bridge? Let's dive into the practical side of things and look at the tools you can start using today. And this is where the rubber meets the road. This isn't about some kind of natural talent for learning. It's about using a proven process. And that process, well, it relies on a couple of really simple but incredibly powerful tools. First up, the learning log. This is basically your personal journal, where you don't just take notes, you actively decide, okay, what's the most important thing for me here? Then, and this part is absolutely crucial, you share those priorities. Just saying it out loud to somebody forces your brain to organize the idea, to clarify it, and to really truly own it. So here's how it all fits together in 4 easy steps. 1, you engage with the new stuff. 2, you pull out your learning log and figure out what actually matters. 3, you share what you've learned, you articulate it, and boom, step 4. In that very act of identifying and sharing, the blending happens. The new knowledge finds its home. Now, this 4-step thing, it's not a one-and-done deal. The real power here kicks in when it becomes a cycle, a habit. Think of it kind of like a flywheel. That first push is always the hardest. But every single time you go through this cycle, your foundation of knowledge gets wider and stronger. And that makes it even easier to connect the next piece of new info. And the wheel just starts spinning faster and faster. It's a continuous, self-reinforcing process. So why bother with all this? What's the big payoff for building this amazing architecture of learning? Well, the result isn't just knowing more stuff. It's a fundamental change in what you're capable of. All of this work, the logging, the sharing, the blending, it all funnels down into one single, powerful, transformative outcome. And that's the end game right there. This process isn't just about becoming smarter, it's about nurturing strength, specifically leadership strength. It's the ability to take what you know and act on it with total clarity and confidence. So how does that even work? How do you get from learning to leadership? Well, when you truly assimilate knowledge, you get a much deeper understanding, which leads to way better decisions. The act of sharing what you learn makes you a better communicator. And the whole cycle basically trains your brain to connect dots, which is the heart and soul of proactive problem solving. And if you remember one thing, let it be this. We're shifting the entire goal of learning away from just collecting facts and toward building real capability. It's really the difference between having a pile of bricks and having a well-built house. One is just a bunch of stuff, The other is a powerful, usable strength. So at the end of the day, this process turns information into insight and insight into action. So the only question left is for you. What's the first brick you're going to lay? What new knowledge are you going to intentionally build into your own mental architecture, starting right now?